Have you ever found yourself staring at the ceiling of your room in the absolute silence of the dead of night, with that almost palpable physical sensation of heaviness in the center of your chest? I'm referring to that pressure that doesn't quite let you breathe, that silent and painful certainty that you are the only person, absolutely the only one, who is holding up the pillars of your relationship. It is a feeling of emotional orphanhood, as if you were rowing alone in a small boat in the middle of an immense and dark ocean. And the other person, your partner, instead of picking up an oar and helping you navigate against the current, is sitting calmly enjoying the view, or worse, drilling small holes in the hull of the boat, forcing you to desperately bail out water just to keep from sinking. And the most ironic part of all this, what truly confuses and tortures your Libra mind, that mind designed for logic and justice, is that you know with every fiber of your being that you are a valuable person. You know that your capacity to love seems bottomless. You know that when you love, you do it with an aesthetic, with a dedication, and with a loyalty that few signs can equal. So the question that drills into your head night after night is, why? Why does life hand me crumbs when I am serving a full banquet? Why, if I am the expert in us, do I end up feeling lonelier in a relationship than if I were truly single? Today, I need us to talk about this, but I don't want this to be a superficial chat. I don't want to give you empty, love yourself advice that sounds good on a greeting card, but changes nothing on a Tuesday afternoon when he leaves you on read. Today, I want to perform a surgical intervention on your soul. I want to talk to you like that big sister who loves you too much to lie to you. We are going to dissect a profound reason written in the stars and carved into the grooves of your psychology, explaining why Libra, the sign of the scales, the sign that rules marriage and partnership, paradoxically ends up living through the most unjust and unbalanced situations in the zodiac. There is a mechanism, a sophisticated trap of the mind that I call the mirror error. It is a glitch in your emotional perception system that makes you see an oasis where there is only a desert. And it is the main reason why you keep attracting people who do not have the capacity to see you, who lack the maturity to value you, and who leave you with that eternal emotional hunger, that feeling of always waiting for the main course that never arrives at the table. But before explaining how to deactivate this error, how to break this spell and reclaim your throne and your dignity, I need to understand who is with me today. Libra energy is complex and manifests in very different evolutionary stages. I know that on the other side of this screen there are thousands of hearts beating, but not everyone is at the same point on the path. That is why I am going to speak to two types of women today. And I need you to identify which frequency you are vibrating on so that these words enter where they need to enter. First, I want to address with great respect those who have already recovered their balance. I refer to the Libras who have already passed through the fire of initiation, who already cried what they had to cry, and who understood that harmony is not a synonym for submission. You are the ones who have already learned to use the sword of justice to cut dead ties. You are the ones who say no with a smile and without guilt. If you feel identified with this strength, if you feel that you are already on the other side of the river, I ask you please to stay. Do not close this audio. Your presence here is fundamental. Stay to observe, to validate your own heroic path, and above all, to energetically hold space for your sisters who are still in the middle of the storm. Your balanced energy acts as an anchor for them. But now, I need to lower my voice and speak very closely, with all the tenderness I am capable of, to those who feel their scales are breaking. If you are in this place, if you feel like you are walking on eggshells in your own home, this message is of vital urgency for your soul. You are the one currently suffering the crushing weight of heartbreak. You are the one checking the phone every 5 minutes, waiting for a message that, even if it comes, never says what you need to read. You are the expert in justifying the unjustifiable. You are the one who says, it's just that he's like that, he has a strong character. Or it's just that she had a very hard childhood and that's why she's cold. Or he's just very stressed with work. You have become the defense attorney for the one who hurts you. You are breaking yourself into 1,000 little pieces, mutilating parts of your personality, stopping doing what you like, all to fit into the tiny mold that person has left for you. If you feel a lump in your throat listening to this, if my words resonate like an echo in your pain, I want you to know something fundamental. You are not crazy, you are not stupid, and you are definitely not weak. You are simply operating under a software, an unconscious program of your sun sign that is outdated and needs to be rewritten right now. There is a master key, a deep psychological secret that explains why we accept less than we deserve, and I'm going to reveal it to you step by step. A concept that will change the architecture of your relationships forever. But to understand the cure, we first must have the courage to look the disease in the eye. We have to understand why your air mind, so brilliant, so analytical, so capable of solving everyone else's problems, becomes blind and clumsy when it comes to defending your own heart. Let's travel to the origin. Let's talk about your essential nature. You are Libra. Your ruler is Venus, Aphrodite, the goddess not only of love and beauty, but of the bond, of connection, of magnetism. And your element is cardinal air. Air is the world of ideas, of the mind, of communication. What happens when you mix Venus's deep longing for love with the idealized world of ideas of air? You create romantic idealization, and here begins the root of your suffering. Your archetype from Jungian psychology has an almost biological, instinctive aversion to conflict. For a typical Libra, discord, shouting, bad moods, and tense environments feel almost like physical pain. Your nervous system does not tolerate a lack of harmony. You often prefer to swallow a little poison daily than to start an open war. And that nobility of yours, that tireless search for peace, becomes your downfall when you meet people who do not have your same ethical code. People who see your kindness not as a gift, but as a weakness to exploit. Think about your childhood for a moment. Let's go back in time. Probably from a very young age, you learned that to be loved, you had to be the good girl. You learned to read the emotional room of your house before entering. You have an emotional radar so sophisticated that you know exactly what to say to calm mom down or what to do to make dad smile. You became the social chameleon. You learned to adapt. If the environment required silence, you were silent. If the environment required joy, you were the clown. You developed the unconscious belief that love is not something you deserve simply for existing, for breathing. You learned that love is a transaction. If I am compliant, they will love me. If I am useful, they won't abandon me. If I am pretty and pleasant, I will have value. And you dragged that belief into your adult life, into your bed, into your relationships. Here is where the mirror error comes in. Because you are a person full of light, of empathy, with a genuine desire to cooperate and build, when you meet someone, you project that light onto them. It is a defense mechanism and a desire. You are not seeing the real person in front of you with their limitations, their unresolved traumas, their selfishness, or their inability to love. You are seeing your own light reflected in them. You fall in love with your own potential projected onto the other person. You look at that man or that woman and think, oh, he is wonderful. Deep down, he's just a little hurt. She has a big heart. She just needs someone to truly understand her. You do, and then you assume the most dangerous role for a Libra, the role of the savior, the therapist, the mother, or the father of your partner. You start to invest. You give your time, you give your body, you give your money, you give your advice. You believe that your love is a kind of alchemy, that if you love enough, you will transform lead into gold. You believe that if you are the perfect partner, the other person will have no choice by pure logic but to become the perfect partner for you. But love does not work by transactional logic. And here comes the hardest truth, the one I need you to hear even if it hurts. You are trying to buy love with compliance. You are trying to ensure they don't abandon you by making yourself indispensable. And that, my dear friend, is not love. That is control. It is a very subtle, very sweet, but very powerful way of trying to control the outcome, so you don't feel the terror of abandonment. And I know this is shocking. I know your mind is racing right now, perhaps feeling a mix of shame, guilt, and recognition. Your air mind is reviewing files from 10, 20 years ago. Is that what I did with my ex? Is that what I'm doing now? That mental anxiety, that incessant noise is what weakens you. So I want us to stop that mental machine right now. I need you to get out of your head and come down to your body. We are going to take a real pause, an oasis in the middle of this desert of emotions. I don't want you to close the video. I want you to stay here with me in this safe space we have created. But we are going to change your brain's frequency. Imagine for a moment the symbol of your sign. The scale is the only inanimate object in the Zodiac. It is not an animal, it is not a human, it is an instrument of measurement. That means your soul seeks objectivity, truth. But right now, that internal scale is tilted, heavy, loaded with pain and responsibilities that do not belong to you. I want you to breathe with me. This isn't just any exercise, it is a recalibration of your nervous system. If you can, drop whatever you have in your hands. If you are sitting, put your feet on the ground. Inhale deeply through your nose. 1, 2, 3. Imagine you are inhaling a white, cold, crystalline light, a light of clarity that enters directly into your forehead and calms the whirlwind of thoughts. Hold the air for a moment. Feel that silence inside you. Feel how that pause is yours. No one can take it away from you. And now exhale slowly through your mouth, as if you were blowing out a candle gently. Release all the air, and as you release the air, visualize that you are releasing the responsibility of making others happy. Release the guilt for not being perfect. Release the desperate need for approval. Stay for a second in that void, in that fertile silence. There, in that space where you are not trying to please anyone, that is where your true value lives. You have value for who you are, not for what you do. Your existence is sufficient. Now, with a clearer mind and a slightly calmer heart, let's go back to the strategy. We already understood the diagnosis. We understood that we project our light and overgive to avoid conflict. But how do we get out of this? How do we go from being the victim of the scale to being the owner of the scale? How do we stop begging for crumbs and start presiding over the banquet? The astrological and psychological solution for Libra is to integrate its complementary opposite, Aries. I know Aries might seem like a rough, aggressive, selfish sign to you, but Aries has something you desperately need, self-assertion. Libra is us. Aries is I. Right? And here is the paradox. For the us to be healthy, the I has to be strong. If you do not have a solid I, you do not have a relationship. You have a fusion, a dependency, a symbiosis. You need to learn to disappoint others. Yes, you heard right. Your spiritual task is to learn to tolerate people getting angry with you. The problem is that you believe setting boundaries makes you a bad person. You believe that saying no is being aggressive, and it isn't. Saying no to what hurts you is saying yes to yourself. It is an act of radical self-love. Reciprocity, dear Libra, is not asked for. Listen to me well and engrave this in your soul. Write it on a mirror if you have to. Reciprocity is never claimed. If you have to sit down with someone to explain why you deserve respect, they have already disrespected you. If you have to ask someone to make time for you, they have already shown you that you are not their priority. And that's okay. Does it hurt? Yes, it tears the soul apart. But the truth liberates, the lie imprisons. What you have been doing is trying to fill a glass that has a hole in the bottom. No matter how much water you pour, no matter how much love you pour, it will never fill up. And you are left dry, drained, and withered in the process. Starting today, I want you to change the dynamic. I want you to stop being your partner's defense attorney and become the impartial judge of your own life. Libra is blind justice. Use it in your favor. Observe the facts, not the words. Observe the actions, not the promises. Do the facts say they love you, or do the facts say they use you? Is that person there when you get sick, or are they only there when you are shiny and fun? Does that person listen when you cry, or do they get annoyed because you are making drama? I know loneliness is scary. I know the big ghost, the monster under the bed of every Libra, is the idea of ending up alone. But I assure you from experience and by the laws of the universe that there is no loneliness more bitter, colder, and more destructive than sleeping next to someone who doesn't see you. That is true loneliness. Being with yourself, recovering your energy, painting, listening to music, decorating your house, enjoying your own beauty, reading a book, drinking coffee in silence. That is not loneliness, that is fullness. That is inhabiting yourself. And to prove to you that you are not alone in this process, to prove to you that this feeling is universal and that we are a legion of souls seeking this same balance, we are going to perform an act of digital psychomagic right now. We are going to use technology to create a network of human containment. I want you to go to the comments right now. Yes, do it now. Don't wait for the end. I want you to write a declaration of power, a decree to the universe that you are ready to receive what you deserve. By writing it, you materialize it. By writing it, you tell your subconscious mind that this is serious. The power phrase for today is, I deserve a balanced love. But I want you to add your identity, your root, your land. I want you to put your country next to it. This is important because it connects us geographically and spiritually. Write, I deserve balanced love, and the name of your country. And here comes the most important part, the part that will heal your Libra heart that longs for connection and belonging. Do not close the comments after writing. Do not leave. Scroll down. Look for a sister. Look for a brother who is from your same country. Look for them among the hundreds of messages. And when you find someone who shares your land and your longing, reply to them. Simply tell them, we are together, or we are in this together. If you don't find anyone from your country, reply to the first person you see, we are going to weave a golden web around the world. I want you, when you read that we are together, to feel physically on your skin that there are thousands of people backing you, to feel that your pain is shared and that your hope is shared. Do it. Feel the strength of the tribe. Feel how the isolation breaks. That connection you feel now reading and writing, that little spark of warmth, is real. That is what you deserve in all areas of your life. You deserve a connection where there is a response, where you speak and someone answers, where you give and someone receives and gives back. To close this deep journey into your psyche, I want to leave you with a final reflection on your ruler, Venus. Sometimes pop culture makes us think of Venus as a soft, passive goddess, reclining on a divan, eating grapes, and waiting to be admired. But the true Venus, the ancient Aphrodite, is a force of nature. She is a powerful goddess who respects herself above all else. She does not chase, she attracts. She does not beg, she chooses. When you are chasing crumbs, you are vibrating in lack, and lack repels. Desperate need is the strongest repellent there is. But when you plant yourself in your dignity, when you take care of your own life, when you fill yourself with your own beauty and become your own source of pleasure and joy, then you become magnetic, you become irresistible. Stop trying to balance the scale by putting more on your side. That is the trap. The only way to balance that unbalanced relationship is by removing your weight. Stop doing so much. Stop solving so much. Stop calling so much and watch what happens. Become a scientist of your own life. If, when you withdraw your effort, everything falls, let it fall. Let it crash against the ground and make noise, because what breaks from a lack of your effort was never solid, was never real. It was an illusion sustained solely by your tired muscles, and it is better for it to break now than for you to keep holding it up for 10 more years. But if, when you withdraw your effort, the other person wakes up, feels the void, and starts to do their part, then you will have saved the relationship. But you cannot know if you keep doing all the work for both of you. You have permission to rest. You have permission to disappoint others if that means being faithful to yourself. You have permission to want more. You have permission to demand the whole thing or nothing. You are Libra. You are the balance of the universe. You are beauty incarnate. Do not allow anyone, absolutely anyone, to treat you like a convenient option when you were born to be the undeniable priority. Thank you for allowing me to enter your sacred space today. Thank you for your courage to look at that shadow and transform it into light. Go in peace, go with your head high, with your crown well placed. And remember to check the comments tomorrow to see how many souls are with you in this process, telling you we are together. I'll read you down there, a hug to your soul.